Hi, it's Shane here from ITTN, and I'm back with a coffee break video. This time I'm sitting down and chatting to Jenni Bridgman from Visit Utah. We're going to hear all about the Big Five national parks in this stunning state. So Jenni, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm really excited to find out everything about Utah. It looks like a really stunning state.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, if you've got clients who want to go on that classic American road trip, Utah is really the place to do it. It's quite small in comparison to other states, so the distances are very, very manageable.
And you're kind of nestled in right there beside Nevada, so anyone maybe visiting Vegas can nip over.
Yeah, that's actually a really great segue because Las Vegas is one of our gateway cities, so very, very easy to get into southern Utah, which is where our mighty five national parks are located. So that's Zion, which is the closest to Vegas, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Arches, and Canyonlands national parks, and they are all very, very different but follow the theme of very red rock landscapes, so very, very stunning scenery, natural arches, natural bridges, canyons, towering cliffs, you name it, you see it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to kind of visit Arches, ever since watching the opening of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Just seeing that there, it looks amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's got some really, really great movie heritage. In fact, Thelma Louise was also filmed in Arches National Park as well, one of the scenes there, and I think Forrest Gump and all sorts of other classic Western films as well.
Yeah, and in terms of, say, getting to Utah, what's maybe the best way to get there?
Okay, well, we've already mentioned Las Vegas, so a great gateway into southern Utah and those national parks. It's just a 2-hour drive from Las Vegas International Airport to the southwest of Utah. And then we also have Salt Lake City in the north. And that's also another great gateway for access to the mountains of the north of Utah. Very, very different to the landscapes in the southern Utah, very contrasting. And the great thing is both gateways have got really great connections from across the USA. So you can fly direct from, say, Dublin into the east or the west coast, and then there's lots of great domestic flights that you can jump on to get across to either Vegas or Salt Lake City. And of course, clearing customs and immigration in Dublin means that the transition should be quite seamless.
And Jenni, say if you wanted to, maybe visit Vegas first and hire a car and explore Utah, how much time do you need, or what would you recommend?
I think what I would say is have a couple of days at the beginning or the end of your trip in Las Vegas. You won't need a car for that, but then once you head out into the open road, I would say you'd need maybe a good 10 days to explore southern Utah and the national parks and national monuments in and around that area. Maybe even 2 weeks, that would be probably the ultimate. And then similar with Salt Lake City, you can fly into Salt Lake City. You won't need a car for the first couple of days if you're going to explore the city. It's very, very accessible. It's just 15 minutes or so by Uber or taxi from the airport into downtown Salt Lake City. And then when you're in the city, there's great shopping, great dining, great bars. Salt Lake City is also home to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so that's the Mormon church. Temple Square, which is kind of like the headquarters, is there, and they do great guided tours that clients can experience. And then once you've kind of experienced Salt Lake City, grab your car. You can either head straight into the mountains, where we've got the likes of Park City, which are really great mountain destinations in the summertime as well. And then you can perhaps head south towards those national parks.
Brilliant. And when would you think would be the best time of year to visit?
The great thing about Utah is that you can visit at any time of the year. As I said, in the north we have the mountains, so that's part of the Rocky Mountains, so great in the winter months for some really incredible skiing. We say we have the greatest snow on earth. Really, really lovely to combine those national parks as well in the winter, because that's when they are at their most peaceful. Often they have a little dusting of snow on them. Summertime, a great time to visit, but it does get hot. You are in the desert southwest with those national parks. So my favourite time to visit is either in the spring or the autumn. You get nice, warm, blue sky days, slightly cooler at night time, but the national parks don't get quite the volume of visitors, so you get that better experience. It's a really lovely time to go. Utah has got the largest concentration of international dark sky places anywhere in the world based on the area. It means we've got very, very little light pollution. So as soon as the sun goes down, the stars begin to come out. And that's one of the great kind of like evening experiences in Utah, whether you're in the north or the south. A lot of the national parks, state parks are all designated international dark sky parks, and they have their own stargazing programs. So they're either ranger led by the national park rangers, or there are private stargazing tours that you can go on. Both will have telescopes and they'll give you an idea about what you can see. If you go on the private one, they tend to have more telescopes available for the size of the group. But yeah, really, really phenomenal experience.
You mentioned about a new training portal you've got opening up.
Utah Specialist Academy, it's called, to learn more about Utah, about some of the well-known attractions like those national parks, and then also some of the little quirky bits and pieces in between the national parks, so that you can help build your clients into an itinerary for them. So sometimes it will mention unusual accommodation or places to stop along the way on your road trip. It mentions the scenic byways that link a lot of the places together. And the great thing is about this training platform is that you don't need to work through it sequentially. You can pick and choose little bits of areas and do it in bite-sized chunks. So one day you can be learning about the north, then you can head down to the southeast and learn about Monument Valley. Just as long as you complete everything in a certain amount of time, then you will become a Utah specialist.
Thanks so much for taking the time out to chat to us today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.